Hey guys, this is Grace and welcome to my channel and welcome to another creative exercise video. This is video number 22, so we are nearing the end of this year-long series that I'm doing. This is based off of a book that I read a couple of years ago called Daily Creative by Todd Henry. It's a practical guide for staying prolific, brilliant, and healthy. So if you notice in the beginning, I started off a 25-minute timer, and that is because the prompt for today is called Pomodoro. And here is what it says. Pomodoro technique involves engaging in a series of 25-minute deep work sessions punctuated by 5-minute breaks. Creative productivity happens best in short, frequent bursts of work. Schedule them in advance to ensure that they don't get squeezed out by your busy life. So the goal here is to create a layout in 25-minute bursts of work, deep work. So that's what I'm trying to do here. You will notice before I continue that I actually don't get to film the whole entire process, and I apologize for that. I need to be better with trying to make sure that, I don't know, I hear my camera stop or something, because the next few sets of videos that I have, or at least this one and the next one, it kind of happens that way where I do a burst of work, I stop it, and in the next couple of videos I thought it was running, but it actually wasn't. So anyways, back to the Pomodoro. So this is what I'm trying, is I'm trying to do 25 minutes. I kind of have an idea of what I was going to do with this particular layout. It is a double page spread, but the idea was that all the deep work will happen in 25-minute bursts. What I had learned by trying this technique is it really helps because like your brain knows you have to focus on this one task, and that's what I was doing, and it seemed like I was successful. However, I have also built up my routine when it comes to scrapbooking that 25 minutes, sometimes it's not enough for me. Like I could go on and it doesn't tire me out, or there's just certain parts of the creative process that I can step away and take a break, especially when no idea is coming up. But for the most part, I feel like the way I scrapbook now, I've kind of honed it down that when it's time for me to create, sometimes I can sit there for a good 30 minutes before I stop, or sometimes even 45 minutes. It just all depends if I'm jumping from one thing or another. And I think that's also another positive thing about scrapbooking or paper crafting, is that you can, like, when you're trying to first build your layout, you can focus on the layout itself, the design of it, and then when you want to kind of set that aside for a little bit, you can move on to the title, or you can move on to an embellishment, or you can move on into journaling. Like there's a lot of like other aspects of it that you can kind of ping from one point to another, and it will lengthen your creative time. But I also see the value of this, especially if you just want to create but you're kind of not feeling it. You can do these 25-minute bursts of time. See, here's the thing. So I've kind of planned out my background. It is going to be a 2-page layout, and there are 10, so 2, 4, yeah, there's 10 pictures, and I've planned on kind of separating them into 3 different parts of the double page layout. And initially in these kinds of parts, like once I'm done with the layout, I can turn off the camera and then reassess the next step, right? But because I have that 25 minutes in the background, I just kept on going. And so that is another kind of difference from my norm, is that I was still continuing doing the filming, even though in a regular part I would have like stopped there. You also notice that I'm using two different cardstocks here. I had made my homemade kit for travel and I wanted to use up that kit so I can create a new one. And so I am forcing myself to use two different colored cardstock, but I am going to kind of fix the problem of it being different by adding washi tape all around those two pages to make a border so that there's kind of that thing that unifies the two pages. Now my idea was that I'm actually going to use my photos as my kind of cluster, my triangle, visual triangle, sometimes we call them that. So I'm going to use that as the main visual triangle for the layout, because just so happens that the photos kind of happen in three different parts of town. These are pictures of when we went to a small mountain town close to our city. It's called Manitou Springs, and we were actually there because we had just rode the cog railway to go up to Pikes Peak, and it's a 14er and there's a cog railway that goes up there. So we went up, and then on our way back down we kind of hung out in that small town where we had gone onto the train. And over there they were very popular with their spring mountain water. Spring water, I guess that's what you call them. But anyways, back in the day when tuberculosis was really high, or there's a lot of cases, Colorado was one of those places where people were advised, or they recommended that if you have tuberculosis, you come and try to heal over here because of the altitude. And then other people were saying it's the spring water over in Manitou Springs was also helping. I'm not sure how accurate that is, being that that wasn't proven that was a thing that was helping with the tuberculosis, but it was one of those things where they were popular for. Now, we walked around and the kids tried the spring water. It tastes very minerally. That's like, there's a lot of minerals, there's a lot of metal in there, and I don't like it, but they had to try it. And then in that place they also have they call it the penny arcade, because they used to have these arcade games that only cost a penny or a dime or a nickel. I think it was nickel. But they also had some really, really old ones that you can put a penny in. But for the most part, it has like the 25-cent arcade games. But it's just fun. They like it. So I stopped the time there because the 25 minutes was up. But I couldn't just stop because I was on a roll. So I actually put in the washi tape around and did all of the other stuff to prep the page. I also did the die cutting of my shapes here, and I'm going to put that kind of near the blocks that I did. I did mat my photos to make it stand out against the background, but also to create that kind of placeholders that these are the different clusters that I wanted to create for this particular layout. And I did, so the drinking of the water was 4 photos, and then the penny arcade was 4 photos, and then our dinner at one of our favorite places that has Philly cheesesteak, we only had 2 photos there. So that's going to be on the bottom right, and that's because there wasn't, there's not 4 photos there too. There's space for me where I could add a lot more of the die cut shapes, but then it's also, my plan is that that's where my title is going to get housed. Initially I kind of wanted my journaling there as well, but when I tried to play around with it, it just felt like the journaling strip will cover up all of the shapes that I had built. Now if I was smart I would make all of these shapes butt up against each other, But as you can see, when I try to do like what I should have done is I should have done them like on the corners instead of on the sides, because then they will butt up better, like, you know, connect better together. But I started them connecting them from side to side, and then of course I'm going to end up with spaces in between. Now I try to undo it and try to match it up with the top left and right corners instead of the left side and right side, and I actually didn't like it that way. I like it this way better, where it's connected side to side, if that makes any sense. So anyways, I like that better, and so I'm gonna go for that. Again, I just cut out a bunch of this shape with my nesting die over there with some pattern paper, again from this kit, because I want to use it all up. And then I'm going to do that in, again, 3 different spots in my layout, and they're going to be very close to my clusters so that I don't create any more clusters. They're just kind of connecting to the existing groupings that I already have on this particular layout. And again, I apologize, this video is going to cut off at the end here, and it's not going to show everything else that I do. But basically, I'm going to add all these papers. I'm going to create my title using some black letter stickers to spell out Manitou Springs. I do put the title on a vellum just so that it will stand out better with the background. And then I added some stickers for embellishment, some flare badges, and then I also added some Nouveau drops there. So that is my layout for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye now.